Ago this week, the Manson murders occurred. Thursday Magazine has an exclusive interview with Charles Manson. Journalist Hurley joins us from Dallas, Texas. Paul Fitzgerald, the publisher. Go to ThursdayMagazine.com. You can call me now at 1-877-801-TALK, 405-6000. Hurley, before I go to Glenn and St. John, I'm asking, is Charles Manson not a poster boy for the death penalty? What does Manson say about Sharon Tate, the woman actress, 26 years of age, 8.5 months pregnant, stabbed repeatedly by Manson's followers for no reason other than he wanted to start a race war, he said?
Yeah, he feels that the press blew that out of proportion because she was so beautiful. That if it was someone maybe not as less beautiful or less popular, then the press would have just blown it over. He doesn't have any remorse about it, nor does he admit that he was behind it.
Why did he go to that? He went to that house before? Terry Melcher lived there, the record producer. He had moved. It was rented out to somebody else. Why that house?
I think he knew that there were people there, and he knew that there was an actress there, and he knew that there were high-profile people there, perhaps.
So he was getting back at society.
I think they wanted to do something shocking. They wanted to shock the world, and they did. He's a master of publicity, really, in that sense, you know?
And the trial was very bizarre. One of the attorneys went missing. They feel that the Manson family murdered the attorney. The trial itself was bizarre, where Manson family members carved X's into their heads like Charlie, interrupt the court proceedings, tried to intimidate witnesses. What does Charlie say about the trial?
He has an opinion on the outcome of the trial. I guess before the trial ended, the LA Times or somebody had published an article that had Manson's picture across it, and it said guilty. Now, this was before there was a guilty verdict. And the president at the time, President Nixon, was photographed holding up that issue of the newspaper with a big grin on his face. And Charlie believes that was why he was found guilty. It was because the president said, here, you know, make this guy guilty. And so they made him guilty. He doesn't feel he got a fair trial. And with the publicity surrounding it, I'm not sure that he did either.
1-877, I thought he got what he deserved. I think he should have been killed. 1-877-801-TALK, 405-6000. Glenn and St. John, your thoughts.
Hi. I just can't believe what I've been hearing from Ro Hurley. Every time you say anything the least critical of Charles Manson, she's actually defending him. And I've seen interviews with Leslie Van Houten years ago. And what do you think would have happened to them? What do you think Tex Watson or Charles Manson would have done to them if they hadn't completed their job, if they hadn't done what they were told? I don't think they were murderers at all. I think they were manipulated, and once they run so deep, they couldn't get out. That's my opinion.
I don't know. I think that it's true that he organized them to do what they did, but I just can't imagine being so weak-minded that you could just go do that. I mean, they were out running around Southern California. At any time, they could have left. So I think they were there because they wanted to be there. Maybe they had nowhere else to go, but they could have easily gone to authorities.
Randy in Dartmouth, your thoughts on this? Paul Fitzgerald joins us from Thursday Night Magazine. He's the publisher. Ro Hurley interviewed Charles Manson, and she joins us from Dallas, Texas. Go ahead, Randy.
Good morning. Good morning to both your guests. I'm just curious, and I have no idea, to be completely honest, what happened to the people of the cult that actually committed the crimes and the murders, and has anybody ever tried to interview any of them? I think you'd get a much more interesting interview than just ramblings that we're hearing from this insane man this morning.
Ro Hurley?
I actually did try to get Bobby Beausoleil, who was the man who was convicted of murdering Gary Hinman. I've not heard back from him. He's the only other one.
Where is he right now?
He's in California. Actually, I think he's in Washington, like in Seattle.
Is he out of jail?
No. He's in for life. He's got a life sentence. He's trying for parole, though.
1-877-801-TALK, 405-6000. How many times has Charles Manson called you?
Oh, my gosh. Maybe 100?
How much time have you spent talking to this madman?
Probably the calls only last 17 minutes at a time because of the rules of Corcoran Prison. So I would say maybe, how many hours? Maybe 8, 10 hours.
What is it that you want to learn from Charles Manson that he hasn't told you? The next time you're talking to Charlie, what are you going to ask him?
I'd like to know his thoughts on Squeaky Fromm's release. I'd like to hear from him, has he killed anybody? Has he actually physically been there for any murder, or has he actually pulled the trigger or stabbed the knife or whatever? I guess I'd also like to know, he's actually a very outspoken pantheist in a way that he's actually created an organization called ATWA. It's Air, Trees, Water, Animals. And I would like to know, because I know that actively ex-members of the family still run that organization, I would like to know if he's still involved with it. What's his involvement with ex-family members?
Paul Fitzgerald, what else is going on with Thursday Night Magazine in this current issue?
Well, in this current issue, actually we have an exclusive interview with Bill Ayers. He was the frontman for the group back in the 70s, and it seems this issue we've been following. In the summertime, we've been following the issue of the 70s and 60s. Bill Ayers, who was the frontman of the Weathermen, he's now a distinguished professor at the University of Illinois.
But he was an American terrorist.
Yeah, he has been identified by the U.S. government as an American terrorist. He was on the FBI's most wanted list. He's in our magazine. We also have a guy from Russia today do a huge feature on, a good-sized feature that is, on Hunter S. Thompson from a Russian perspective. And we also have stories on, for example, Clean Up Casablanca, how Morocco is trying to clean up its slums, and it's making a green movement. We have a story on the comeback of the electric car. More people are talking about the electric car now. And we have a lot of short stories.
Paul, looking forward to it. We're just out of time. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for that. Go to ThursdayNightMagazine.com. Ro Hurley, who interviewed Charles Manson for the edition of Thursday Night Magazine online. Thanks so much for taking time to join us, Ro.
Thank you.
Let me know about your future phone calls. Back with more here on Maritime Morning. Don't you dare go anywhere.
You're listening to Maritime Morning with Andrew Kystal on News 95.7. Our number is 405 News 95.7. Now, here's Andrew.